one guy who is pretty big and also still really athletic is my number one player on this list. And honestly, Dalton, this is another one where I was like, yep, he's number one. I didn't have to really look it up that much. Peter Woods from Clemson is my number one D tackle. Really pretty obvious number one, at least in my opinion, as well. In fact, he played this past year out of position for most of the year as an edge defender for Clemson, and yet he still had an 83.3 grade for the Tigers this past year over his first 2 years of college football, meaning 2023 and 2024. He is both the highest graded and the most valuable returning power forward defensive tackle according to our wins above average metric. He leads all power forward D tackles over the last 2 years with an 89.7 run defense grade and a 14.9% pass rush win rate. So again, he's maybe the best pass rusher at D tackle that we have in college football right now, and probably the best run defender that we have at D tackle in college football right now as well. Power and agility at 6'3", 315 pounds. He is a matchup nightmare for any offensive lineman in college football, meaning guards, centers, and we saw even this past year at edge defender, even tackles had a hard time defending Peter Woods as well. Done. This guy, I think, is going to be at least a top 5, top 10 pick in this upcoming draft. He is pretty easily, in my opinion, the number one D tackle in the country.
Yeah, I don't think this was one of your easier decisions on this list, and the first of many Clemson Tigers we're going to talk about in this episode and the coming ones on this defense, because it might be the best defense in the country. But Woods on the inside is such a big reason why. When you talk about last year, Clemson's run defense, a little bit more of a struggle to defend off the edge, but in between the tackles, yeah, you're not getting by Peter Woods. And it's something you mentioned the power. His true freshman year, last year as a true sophomore, you talking about a guy who I think he's just ridiculously strong beyond his years. It just feels like he's stronger than all the seniors out there, and he was only a true freshman and true sophomore his first 2 seasons playing, and he got better to me as a pass rusher last year as well. I think there is even more to come on that front. I think this is clearly the best defensive tackle in the country, arguably the best run defender in the country across any defensive line, and you just look at the consistency he plays with. It just doesn't feel like he never has a bad week, right? Maybe he's sometimes a little quieter as a pass rusher, but what the impact that he brings on the inside and run defense for this team is so big. Nobody in the ACC is going to be able to run between the tackles on Clemson because number 11 is in there, and he is plugging every gap you can think of, can move all across the defensive line. Just a special football player that I think is going to continue to get better this season.
And the fact that Clemson felt comfortable enough to play him at edge defender last year at 315 pounds, like that'll be easily the biggest edge rusher in the NFL at 315. He should not be playing edge rusher, and Clemson kind of learned their lesson in the second half of the year, moving him back to D tackle. But he's still, like I said, Dalton, still at an 80-plus PFF grade while playing mostly edge rusher, playing out of position last year. Just shows how freaky of a player Peter Woods is. And do you agree he's probably going to be like a top 10 at least pick in next year's draft?
Yeah, most likely. I think there's going to be some teams that maybe want to see a little more pass rush production, but when you dig in on the underneath metrics, a 13.5% pass rush win rate last year, it's a very good number for an interior player. I think it was around 15 the year before. Those are really good numbers for interior players. I think absolutely this is someone you project to be in a top 10 pick. Clearly the best D tackle in the country. Special football player for as young as he is. Honestly, with his play strength, I think he could just play. I think he'd play in the NFL right now. Yeah. It just he walked in as a true freshman, and it felt like he was stronger than most juniors and seniors that he played against. He's terrific. I mean, and his skill set. It's so easy to project to the next level. You just go, he's powerful. He knows where he's going in the run game. He gets to the football. He can be versatile. He can move all around. If you wanted to put him off the edge in certain situations, you could. I wouldn't leave him there permanently. But the fact that he's even able to do that at such a young age, it says a lot about him. He's just a special player. Yeah, I think he's going to go top 10 next year.
I think Peter Woods is pretty easily the top D tackle in next year's draft, and his teammate, who we'll get to in our next video, pretty easily for me, at least right now, the top edge rusher in next year's draft as well. Clemson's defensive line is loaded. The entire defense is loaded. The entire team is loaded. Dalton, they have the number one quarterback in my rankings too, and Kate Klubnik. Tigers going to be pretty good next year. So, hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.